Hey everybody. A friend asked if I was going to do a VR to this tag, the Terra skincare routine. And I had said, this is a great tag, but I feel like my skincare routine products are like boring AF. And also, I actually don't have anything to show for some of the prompts at all. So I wasn't sure, but she said she wanted to see a VR anyway. And so this is for you, my friend. And also, it really doesn't take much to convince me to do a fun tag. So this is definitely a clever one. I will confess, I don't really enjoy skincare per se. Like, it's not something where I am adventurous and excited to try new products. I have several skin conditions that I have to deal with. So, when my dermatologist suggests a brand to me and it works and it doesn't make my skin angry, I usually stick to that brand and I don't deviate because the times I've tried to be experimental, I usually end up having some type of like breakout or like allergic reaction or like irritation. But yeah, my skin is the most high maintenance, pain in the ass organ that my body has. I deal with acne, eczema, hyperpigmentation, melasma. I think those are like the major ones. And then I'm also prone to getting comedones and milia as well. So, in having to deal with all that, that's really why I don't find a skincare routine to be like a pampering experience or anything like that. I just find it to be a chore. And I've had people say, "Oh, really? You have problem skin? You don't look like you have problem skin." And I really appreciate that because it has been a very long journey since puberty. I really do try my best to take care of my skin and to keep it as healthy as possible and to protect it. And so it's a combination of things that's allowed me to do that. Like I said, I see a dermatologist and I have prescription medications that help with the conditions I have. And then also I wear makeup. I have a concealer foundation stick, I guess, that I use to help conceal, problem areas. So all this to say, yeah, skincare, not like an enjoyable hobby for me. Regardless, I think this VR will still be fun for me to do. I just don't know how much fun it'll be for you guys to watch because you'll be noticing that I have maybe just two or three brands that I'm pretty loyal to. I will leave the link to Joniki's video. She is the one who originated the tag. And then I did see a VR from Nicole Cottage Witch. So I will leave the link to her video as well. And what's funny is that Joniki and Nicole are very much into K-beauty, which I am all for. Yes, definitely support my people and their companies. I myself do not use K-beauty products, so I don't have any to show. And the fact that I'm Korean and don't use K-beauty products, like, is that irony lost on me? Not at all. Maybe in the future I'll venture into K-beauty. I mean, I would like to. I know they have phenomenal products. So maybe one day. Okay, on to the tag. The double cleanse. So usually I first start off with this right here, Cetaphil Daily Facial Cleanser. And this is to get off the makeup and the sunscreen. And it's still, so it does that, but it's still gentle enough on my skin. And then I follow that up with this right here, an acne wash. Salicylic acid has been great in terms of keeping my acne at bay and also in terms of keeping milia and comedones at bay for me personally. Okay, so a pair of decks that help you cleanse your energy at the end of the day. So this was a little bit, like, this took a little thought because I don't think I've ever really used my decks in that way specifically, but if I were to, I feel like these two would be a good pair. So we have the Light Sears Tarot. This is the pocket size, and then this is the Align Heart Affirmations deck. I don't know, I just feel like Light Sears has a kind of love and light type of energy to it. And I don't mean that in a disparaging way. So I just feel like ultimately that'd be a great kind of vibe to end the day with, to kind of purge all the bad juju. And then the supportive, nurturing messages of an affirmation deck like this would also be useful. So like even this pair is quite nice. You have the Queen of Cups. Take all the time you need. So I can definitely see myself maybe throwing down some cards from the light seers and then like wrapping it up with a message from the Align Heart. Like even this pair is great. King of Swords. I let go of the neglect I have experienced from others and myself as I tend to my own needs. Getting a lot of King energy. Oh, I like this pair too. I may feel damaged and broken, but I know in my heart that I am whole and worthy of love. Wow, I'm actually really liking this pair. I might have to try this IRL. Huh. So the next prompt is exfoliator. I don't use a separate exfoliator. I feel like I get enough of that with the salicylic acid in the face wash. But onto the deck. So this would be a deck that can be abrasive, but helps you peel things back to reveal new growth. And I chose the Reclaim Oracle. This deck isn't always abrasive, but it is certainly direct, and it is definitely a deck that I only reach for when I am ready to confront something head on, and that I am in fact looking for, more concrete solutions, and I'm really ready to take some action steps. So this is a deck that I use sparingly because I know it's not gonna pull any punches, and I just have to prepare to be broken to then find ways to mend and to heal. So yeah, this one is one that I am definitely very deliberate with when I pull this deck out. Prompt number 3, toner. I also do not use a toner. See, this is what I mean. I don't have like anything to show. Yeah, I don't use a toner. I don't find that it does anything for my skin personally. And, my dermatologist knows my skincare regimen, and she has never once like recommended that I add a toner into my skincare process. So I'm not worried about it. Anywhere I can cut corners with all the crap I have to put on my face, I will cut corners. So a deck that is refreshing, that helps you feel balanced. And for this one, I chose the traditional Korean tarot, or traditional Korea tarot. I don't know why I can never remember the name of this deck. Oh, it's terrible because I just love it. I love it so much. It's one of my favorites. But this is a deck where, because like the colors are so vibrant, and you've just got all of these beautiful flowers, and just each of the illustrations are just like a visual buffet, and it really feels rejuvenating, and it does feel refreshing. So this is a deck where I feel like if I'm in a slog, I can just come to this and it'll wake me up, It'll put some punch back into my step. Okay, number 4, essence. I don't use essence. either. Oh my goodness, was this VR a mistake? I'm so sorry. I don't have anything to show. Yeah, I don't use Essence, but I do have a deck that injects a potent dose of nature into my practice, and I have chosen the Warden's Oracle. Why is that so hard for me to say today? Woodland Warden's Oracle. Um, yeah, this is, I feel such a nice balance of both flora and fauna. With each card, you have a representation of one of each. And I just love, yeah, the color palette. I love the artistry. The guidebook is great in my opinion. It is concise yet informative, and it's just enough. You know, it's not inundating me with too much information. Given that I am not really an expert at animal medicine or herbal medicine, I feel very much a newbie in those arenas. I like the balance of the information and the brevity of that information in the guidebook. And yeah, and these images just feel very balanced to me in a similar respect. So this is a great deck, in my opinion. Number 5, serums and targeted care. Okay, I do have stuff to show for this. So a serum that I do use is this one right here. It's the L'Oreal Revitalift of Vitamin C. And I use this to target the hyperpigmentation and the dark spots that I have. And then, let's see here, I have these two, which are prescription medications. So this is the generic name of the brand Elidel, which might be more familiar with some of you. And this is for my eczema. And then good old tretinoin, a retinoid that I use to treat everything else. I was also using a kojic acid serum. It's supposed to target melasma, but frankly, I can't say whether it's really working or not. I got it from my dermatologist. It is very pricey, so I'm going to try a cheaper alternative, whether it be to find another kojic acid type of treatment, or my derm did recommend something from, what's the brand? La Roche-Posay, and it isn't kojic acid, but you know, she liked it for melasma. So I don't know, I'll have to think about it. A deck that helps you explore a targeted issue in your life. And one deck that immediately came to mind is the Raven's Prophecy Tarot. This is modified FYI. And this is a deck that I go to when I want guidance and want to address issues with like a project that I might be working on, some type of task or to do, because the creator of this deck, Mackie Stiefvater, is herself an artist in many respects. You know, she is not only an author, but she also paints and draws, hence this tarot deck right here. She composes and plays music. She fixes cars. Who knows what else she does, but I just feel like, you know, that creatrix energy is very much infused into this deck, and I want to use that energy when addressing, you know, and wanting guidance with my own creative projects in particular. And with the wand suit specifically, the guidebook does definitely speak to artistry and creative projects and creative ideas. So yeah, I feel like this deck is perfect for that. Number 6, masks. I don't use masks. I mean, I've tried a few here or there, and it's a combination of just like having bad reactions to them, and also just that I don't have the patience for them, because you have to leave them on for a certain amount of time. And no, that's fine. I don't need to introduce that into my regimen. But the deck I chose for this, a meditative deck that helps you relax, I chose the Seashell Oracle. I think that this is a deck that has just beautiful and calming images. Like we see some colors here, but on the whole, I feel like the palette is more on the muted side. But regardless, it feels like a calm and soothing deck that I can really get lost in the imagery without the details feeling too overwhelming and overstimulating, and can really ruminate on the key title and the key words. Number 7, eye cream. So what I'm about to show isn't an eye cream, but that's what I use it for among many other uses, and that is good old Vaseline. This stuff is so good for so many things, but yes, this is what I use for my eye cream. Vaseline is just, I don't think many people know just how wonderful and amazing it is if your skin can tolerate it. I mean, it is great as in terms of like wound healing, definitely like moisturizing, protecting the skin barrier, great for like irritation and chapped skin, like just everything, it's wonderful. So the deck that helps me feel youthful is the Masters of the Universe Tarot. Now this deck I believe is out of print. I have also modified it. I've also rewritten the titles because there were some misspellings on some of the cards. So I just had and I wanted the handwriting to match. So in Julie fashion, I had to rewrite all the titles. Yes. But this is definitely childhood nostalgia. And so it definitely brings a feeling of youth. It's just a lot of fun. It's a great RWS clone. So very effortless reader. Okay, we'll end on Katra. I love her so much. Moisturizer. Okay, I've just stuck to daytime moisturizer. I do have like evening cream, but we'll stick to daytime. Actually, this I do use both in the daytime and in the evening, depending on how dry my skin is, and that is the Vanacream Moisturizing Cream. My skin just has phases of being very dry or, actually pretty oily. It's like combination skin, hypersensitive, hyper pain in the ass. So especially in the wintertime, this has been very, very helpful. But now that we're transitioning into warmer weather where I'm more prone to perspire and my skin is more prone to getting oily, then I will use something like this, which is the CeraVe Ultralight Moisturizing Gel. So the deck that I chose as a nourishing deck that hugs it all in is the Sasaribito Tarot. I have talked about this deck several times before on my channel. It really is a deck that I go to for nourishment, for support and comfort. I mean, like, look at that. That's amazing. And as a result of it providing nourishment, it also provides me a feeling of, inner strength. The idea that I am more resilient than I may feel at the time. So I'm just really glad that the friend who offered this to me did so, and that I had another chance to work with it, because yeah, first time around, yeah, we weren't meant to be. It wasn't our time. And now I am happy to say that this is very much a kindred deck for me. The final prompt is sun protection. Let's start with this one. Neutrogena Clear Face Oil-Free Sunscreen. I like that this is a chemical sunscreen, and I don't necessarily have any strong preference between chemical and mineral, although, I think which one is it? Is it the mineral that can leave a cast, like a white cast? So that sometimes is a pain, but both are equally effective for me. And I like that this one doesn't make my skin break out. I like that it is water resistant. And I think that's one of the things about K-Beauty sunscreen, that I've been wanting to try a K-Beauty sunscreen because they are very well known for having great sunscreen products. But I noticed that a lot of them aren't like water resistant or like sweat resistant. So anyway, this has worked really well for me. And then similarly, I do also use so this is mineral, but I use this on my neck because it's like one of these stick situations, rub-on stick situations. And the reason I use this is because like with the neck, when I use like liquid sunscreen, I am apparently just really bad at it and really sloppy, and it gets on the collar of my shirt and I just make a mess of myself. So this makes things very neat and tidy, and there's no dripping or smearing on the clothes. And I don't mind this. I think this does leave a bit of a white cast. Because this is mineral, but I don't care because it's on the neck and you really can't notice. Another sunscreen that I use a lot is a tinted sunscreen, which again, K-Beauty sunscreens don't tend to provide tinted sunscreens, which the derm had recommended to me. The ingredient of a tinted sunscreen helps to ward off visible light that can trigger or exacerbate melasma and like the dark spots on my face. I try to go for a tinted sunscreen, especially when I know I'm going out. But like I use sunscreen every day, no matter what potential situation I'm in. Like even if I know that I'm going to be home like all day, maybe not going out, you just like never know when you will be like called to like run an errand at the last minute. And I'm the type of person who would forget to put on my sunscreen. But then also, I mean, you have windows, and windows do bring in, light that can be damaging to skin. And so I wear it like a daily moisturizer kind of thing. It's just every day regardless. But when I know that I will be going outside, I do go for the tinted. And the deck I chose as a protective deck that helps deflect away bad energy is Tarot of the Cat People. I mean, look at this Emperor. Look at the people in this world. This is a deck that just has like this strong sense of community where you could see these people just like banding together. You have several like elder crone figures, like Queen of Pentacles. Like, doesn't she look powerful? She looks like a sorceress, These people look like they have powerful magic that, and I would just hide behind their robes and they would protect me. They know what to do. They know the spells to cast. They know how to ward evil off and deflect the bad energy. So that is why I chose Tarot of the Cat People. And that wraps up this VR. I hope you enjoyed, even though I didn't have too much to show. But as you could probably tell, like a good chunk of my products are what we in the US call like drugstore brand products. So, like I said, I'm all for the K beauty, and I'm sure there are other beautiful brands out there. But for people who might not, be in a place to, say, afford the more kind of high-end brands, drugstore brands have been very effective for me for what it's worth. So thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you are all well, and I will catch you in the next video.